Hi, I'm Jada Burns and I'm a freshman theater major.
I'm Emma Jo Spencer and I'm a sophomore theater major.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Haley Kurz and I'm a junior theater major.
Hi, I'm Matthew Avalos and I'm a sophomore theater major.
I have been acting for about 3 years, and what made me start theater was that I've always been singing my entire life, and I was never really exposed to theater. The first thing that I was exposed to was musical theater, so I started that at the Covina Center for Performing Arts.
I've been acting for 3 years now, since 8th grade, and I started theater because my music teacher told me to audition for the school's musical 13 the musical, and I loved it and been doing it ever since.
I've been acting since the 5th grade. My first musical was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I started in theater because I really liked to act, and when I was at home, I was always super energetic, and I would always act out funny scenes with my little brother, and my mom was always like, hey, you need to do acting because you act too much at home, so you need to do it in school so you don't do it so much at home. And yeah, so my mom really pushed me to start acting, and when I saw we were having auditions for the musical, I auditioned for it and I got in, and I've been acting ever since, and I love it. It's my passion. I love it so much.
I've been acting since I was in 7th grade, and what made me start theater was, well, I've always been interested in the arts and theater ever since I was little with my brother and sister, but after my first show in 7th grade, I really found out that I loved doing theater, and I wanted to continue doing it because it was something that I loved and enjoyed.
My favorite part about being on stage is being able to step out of your own world and be another character for a day or for a night. And I think that whole idea and that whole concept is really, really cool, and I think it's great that us young actors are able to do this.
My favorite part about being on stage is getting to tell a story that's not mine, but I get to make it mine.
My favorite part about being on stage is the thrill I kind of get in my stomach. If you've ever been on a roller coaster, there's that feeling where your heart drops into your stomach. I feel that every time I go on stage, and I love it. I don't know why I like it so much. I just like performing for an audience and showing what I can do and making the audience interested in the story.
Telling a story in my own way and leaving an impact on the audience when they leave. Yeah.
I think I had to prepare for my role in Fugitive Songs. Mainly, one thing I had to work on was confidence, because since I am the youngest out of the cast, I really had to step out of my comfort zone and put myself out there.
I prepared for my role by going over my music, which was probably the hardest part for me, was understanding the lyrics, and so I had to go through and dissect it like a monologue and then put it to the music and see what came from that and working on it from there.
For my role in Fugitive Songs, I listened to the cast recording probably 1,000 times before we even auditioned for the show, and I kind of went in depth with each song, especially the songs I really enjoyed. I kind of made up my own meaning for them, and then when we all got cast, I took a look at the score and I read all the lyrics and I made notes in my binder and kind of just did that. I made story plots, I made up my own stories in my head for the backstories for each song, and I worked off that for my character for each song.
I prepared for Fugitive Songs, practicing my songs at home, I would plunk out the notes to help me at home on my keyboard. And I write in my notebook. I have a notebook to write in for Fugitive Songs for all of the characters I play in each song. And I wrote about everything in my personal life that I have wanted to run away from. And I wrote the reasons why I want to run away from that and the reasons why I can't. And then I wrote about each character in each song, why they wanted to run away and why they can't run away and how that related to my personal life. So.
My favorite song from the show is probably Annie's Party, which Megan Crane sings. That's my favorite song because it was the first song that I heard from Fugitive Songs before Miller actually told us that we were going to be doing Fugitive Songs. And I fell in love with that, and I memorized all of the lyrics even though there was nothing on Google, and I just think the whole story is really, really funny and cool.
My favorite song from the show would have to be Shine. From the very first moment I heard Shine, I fell in love with it. It just gave me this whole sense of real life, and it made me feel very connected to the show.
My favorite song from the show is the duet I sing, Wildflowers, with Matt Aviles. I fell in love with that song from the very beginning since I first heard the cast recording. I think it's a beautiful song, and I love the meaning behind it. It's like young love, and it's really inspiring, and it's really pretty.
My favorite song is Lullaby because I think it's a really pretty song, and I felt honored to be chosen to sing that song in the show. And I like the story it tells, and I think it's a very different type of musical theater song, something that I've never sang before, and I enjoy performing it.
One of the characters that I play in Fugitive Songs, her name is Alicia, and she is an ex-cheerleader who is talking about her crazy boyfriend. And I think that's really, really hard to play because it's so much different than me, and I really have to step out of my comfort zone and try new things with her.
I think when I was working on Lost, I really thought about my trips as a child to Lake Tahoe and getting lost in the woods, and then kind of understanding where this girl is coming from, and it kind of just sprung from that and other things that I've seen in life, and just really understanding this girl and what she's going through in the woods.
So I sing multiple songs in the show, so I'm different characters throughout the show, but my big song is Spring Cleaning, and the way I developed my character for that song was I dove into the lyrics, and I kind of, like I said earlier, I made a backstory for that song, and I worked out the story that I made to develop my character and develop how she walks the stage and develop how she sings the song and who she's singing to, and yeah.
I didn't really have something that inspired me. It was just after talking about the show with the cast and Miller, that's what inspired me to start working, and I kind of had to have my own process at home, just thinking about how I was going to do everything, how I was going to create all of these different roles in one show, and how my idea on what I wanted to do for the show.
A big challenge that I was faced when I got cast in the show was being the youngest because, I don't know, I guess it's really intimidating being with people as talented as Megan and Isaac and Alberto and everyone else, and being around them so much. It's caused me to be more comfortable with my voice, and I think that I'm slowly overcoming it. It's still there, but it's getting better.
The challenges I faced were definitely the music. The music is a very intricate score that I've never done something at this level before, so I had definitely a hard time with that, and I got through that by rehearsing a lot and understanding what happens where and trusting myself to know what happens when.
This production is definitely some of the hardest music I've ever had to do in my musical theater career, I guess you can say. The lyrics sometimes are like really fast, like in my solo song, and the music and the harmonies are really hard to learn. So that was a big part for me, is just like the music in general, and I had to work really, really hard to practice all of them, and I just really pushed myself for some of the songs that I'm in, and it's been a great experience.
Well, a challenge in this show is playing so many different characters in one show, because I'm just used to playing one character in a show or two, but I have multiple different characters in the show, so it's quite difficult. And the songs are also different from what I've sang before in other shows. And yeah, that's it.
Being able to meet Nathan Tyson and seeing how cool he is and how like laid back and family oriented he was when he was talking to us. He was really, really nice, and I thought that it was a really cool experience to be able to work with someone like that and see his perspective on how him and Chris created Fugitive Songs.
It was amazing for me. I got to understand Lost, my song, a little bit more by talking with him and asking him questions about the song, and he also talked to me about college, and he gave me some really good insight that I hadn't gotten from anybody else, so it was really awesome to see what he thought about what I want to do being as successful as he is.
I was so happy when we got to talk to Nathan Tyson. I love Fugitive Songs so much. It's amazing. It's one of the best song cycles I've ever heard. It's so good. It was really great to be able to speak to him and ask him how he developed each song and his own backstories to give us insight on how he wanted to develop each character. And his wife wrote one of my favorite musicals, and that was really exciting too.
That was a really good experience. I got to ask what my song meant and what their process was while writing the song, and it turns out that it was based off of a girl that they saw on a train, and not a train, I'm sorry, a bus, and they were sitting across from her, and they just kind of created a story based off of what they saw in that girl, who is Rachel in the song Lullaby. And so I just thought it was really neat to get my question answered and just to talk to them, and yeah.
The biggest thing I'll take away from this production is just how much we could do in this little black box theater. I originally, when he was talking about Fugitive Songs, especially in the round, I was really confused with how that was going to all happen. But being in tech and being in design and staging everything, I think it is really, really cool to see that a high school is producing this.
From this production, I will take away like learning not to procrastinate, because in the beginning that's what I was doing with the music, and that just ended up coming back to hurt me. So definitely that's something that's a big deal for me, and also just how close you get with other cast members. I feel really close with each one of the cast members, and it's something that you don't get with other experiences. It's something that you have to go through with them.
So I said earlier that this production has some of the most challenging music I've ever done, and I'm working with some of the most amazing kids I've ever heard. Like, my peers in the show have amazing voices and they're so talented. I've been so blessed to be able to work with them and be able to work with Miller and Colbert in such like an intimate show, and it's been so great. I've got to grow a lot in the way I perform on stage. That's super awkward.
I would take away, I will leave this show feeling more experienced, because I feel like the show has made me more experienced with the type of songs that I could sing, and just the type of process of playing different roles and being in a four-sided theater. And I'm gonna leave happy that I got to work with a great cast. Yeah.